in a quaint, sleepy town nestled between fog-cloaked hills, where modernity still hadn't erased the old-world charm, lived Sarah, a young woman with an avid interest in the supernatural. Despite her fascination, she remained skeptical, treating her curiosity as mere entertainment. That was until the night of the last call. Sarah worked late shifts at a local diner, a place that buzzed with life during the day, but turned eerily silent by night. One evening, as she was closing up, her phone rang. The screen flashed, "Unknown caller." Expecting it might be a friend with a new number, she answered. The voice on the other end was a whisper, a cold, trembling whisper that said, "Don't let it in." Confused and a bit unnerved, Sarah asked who it was, but the line went dead. Shrugging it off as a prank, she finished closing and headed home. That night, a storm unleashed its fury upon the town, thunder shaking the walls of Sarah's house. Amidst the chaos of nature's wrath, her phone rang again. The same unknown number, the same whisper, "Don't let it in." Before she could demand answers, a knock echoed through her house. Sarah froze. The knocking persisted, growing more urgent. Remembering the call, she hesitated, a primal fear rooting her to the spot. The knocks turned into bangs, as if whatever was outside knew she was right there, on the other side of the door. The calls continued over the next few days, each followed by the knocks. No matter where she was, the pattern didn't change. The police found nothing. Friends suggested she was overworked and imagining things. Sarah started to doubt her sanity. Desperate, she reached out to a local paranormal investigator, a move that contradicted her skepticism, but her fear had overpowered logic. The investigator, intrigued by her story, agreed to help. He suggested setting up cameras and recording devices around her home. The next call came, as expected. "Don't let it in," the voice whispered. The knocking began, frenzied. Sarah, watching from the safety of her room, alongside the investigator, saw nothing on the monitors. No figures, no shadows, just the violent shaking of her front door. The investigator noticed something odd about the phone call. The background had a distinct sound, a sort of static mixed with what seemed like distant screams. He traced the call. The revelation sent shivers down Sarah's spine. The calls were coming from her own house, but the number was not registered to any of her devices. They decided to search the house, moving towards the basement, a place Sarah avoided out of an inexplicable fear. The basement was cluttered, filled with old furniture covered in sheets, casting ominous shadows in the dim light. As they sifted through the mess, they found an old, dust-covered phone, its screen lighting up. "Unknown caller," the investigator answered. The whisper came through, clearer now. "Don't let it in, for it's already here." The call ended, and a sudden, deafening silence enveloped the basement. They turned, finding the only exit door slowly closing on its own, a chilling gust of wind brushing past them, as if something had just entered. Or had it always been there, waiting for the door to be opened? The story ends with Sarah's realization that some doors, once opened, cannot be closed again. Her curiosity had invited something in, an entity that lurked in the shadows of her own home, waiting for the moment to make itself known.